to my channel, and in today's video I thought I would share with you some of my favourite contemporary romance authors. I think I might do a separate video for my favourite historical romance authors and maybe like dark romance authors, but I really wanted to focus today on contemporary romance. I would say I know I've been reading a lot more fantasy romance recently, but contemporary romance is really kind of my favourite genre. It's the one that I've read the most of. Obviously contemporary romance kind of can fall into a lot of different categories. All of these are, I would classify as like light contemporary in terms of they're not like dark romance. Some of them might have like darker themes, but they're not dark romance. Quite a lot of them are small town romances. That is one of my favourite things to read, and yeah, I thought I'd just share with you some of my favourites, and maybe you'll get some recommendations along the way. Please do share your favourite authors with me, because I am always on the lookout to check out new authors. So let's start with the stack. I've picked out 10 and we're just going to run through them. So first one that I have is Laura Pavlov. So this book that I'm holding up here is Always Mine. This is the first book in the Honey Mountain series, and this is the first series that I read from Laura Pavlov, and I really enjoyed this series. This series is a small town romance series. This is predominantly what Laura Pavlov writes. I've read this series, and I've also read her current series that she's writing with Wild River. Is it Wild River, Loving Romeo, those ones? But yeah, I love her small town romances. The covers that she does for this series are absolutely gorgeous. I just think that this is such a pretty cover. She also does kind of discreet alternate editions that don't have a couple on, and they are always really pretty as well. So absolutely love these books. Definitely an author to check out. Her books are available on Kindle Unlimited. Some of them have been picked up by a publisher. She is obviously indie published, but some of her books have been picked up by a publisher, so you might see some of them in bookstores. I know her current series is going to be released later this year in the UK with one of the publishers. I can't remember which one, but looking forward to seeing her books become more readily available. Then I have Paisley Hope, and this is Holding the Reins. This is the first book in her Silver Pines series. So Paisley Hope is currently writing a cowboy romance series, and I am obsessed with these books. So this is the first one. I have also read the second book, which was called, does it tell me in here? Training the Heart, that was it. And really love these. If you like cowboy romances, I think you will like her books. If you like Elsie Silver's books, I think you would like her series. I think she also has a motorcycle club romance as well, which I'm interested to check out, but I haven't read that one yet. But her contemporary cowboy romances are definitely ones to pick up. Then we have Chloe Leese. This is the first book in the Bergman Brothers series, and this is called Only When It's Us. I really love Chloe Leese's books. Chloe Leese is a, I think she has autism, or she is neurodivergent, and a lot of her books feature neurodivergent characters, which I really love to see. I think that's her representation is really good. I love this series. I haven't quite completed this series yet, but really love this one, and I think it's Wilcott Sisters trilogy that she's currently writing. I've got the last book to read. I think her books are so much fun. They're really easy to fly through, and I definitely think that her books are worth a read. I obviously have heard people talk about them, but I feel like in comparison to some of the authors on this list, she doesn't get talked about enough, so I think more people need to pick up her books. Then we have Elle Kennedy, and this is The Deal, which is the first book in the Off Campus series. I think Elle Kennedy's writing is so much fun. I love all of the books that I've read by her. I think I've given all of them 4 or 5 stars. She writes predominantly sports romances, particularly hockey she seems to focus on a lot, but I think her books are definitely worth a read. The Off Campus and Briar U series are probably her 2 most popular series, but the Campus Diaries series, which she's just, I think, released the last book of, that is really good as well, and I have read one of her standalones as well. Definitely think her books are worth picking up, and I love these new covers that this series has got. Then we have Hannah Grace, and this is Daydream. So Hannah Grace wrote Icebreaker, and I know Icebreaker is a very divisive book in the community. People either love it or hate it, and I know some people, it got a lot of discussion about the cover because children were picking it up thinking it was kind of a suitable read for them when obviously the content's not. And I liked Icebreaker and Wildfire. I thought that they were okay. But Daydream I absolutely loved. I thought that this one is definitely the best one in the series in my opinion. And I think more people need to read more of her books. I know obviously a lot of people have read Icebreaker, but I feel like books 2 and 3 don't get talked about as much. But Daydream is definitely worth a read. I would highly recommend picking up Daydream. Then we have Lauren Asher, and this is Love Redesigned, which is the first book in the Lakefront Billionaires series, which is the current series that she's currently working on. I have read the Dreamland Billionaires series, which the first 2 books I thought were okay, but the last book, which is, what's it called? Final Offer. That one I absolutely loved. And then the next 2 books in this new series, Love Redesigned, which is this one here, and Love Unwritten, they are really good. Both of them were 5-star reads. I love a billionaire romance, and these ones kind of hit a few points for me because they are billionaire romances, and they also take place in kind of like a small town environment. This series does anyway, which I absolutely love. And yeah, cannot wait for the next book in this series. I can't remember what that one's going to be called, but really looking forward for that one. I think it comes out later on this year. And then we have Sarah Adams, and this is When in Rome, which is book 1 in the is it called Rome, Kentucky series? I have read quite a lot of Sarah Adams' books. She originally started out as an indie author, as quite a lot of the ones on this list did. She originally started out as an indie author, and then her books were re-released by a publisher. And I've read quite a few of them, but this one is definitely my favourite. This whole series I do really enjoy. The Rome, Kentucky series follows a group of siblings, and it is set in a small town. This one I think is a really good start to the series. I was concerned that I wasn't going to like this one as much because I actually read books 2 and 3 before this one. And book 3, which is the most recent one, which is called Beg, Borrow or Steal, that one I gave 5 stars to, and I was like, there's no way that the first book is going to be as good as the most recent one, and it is. So I would definitely recommend picking up this series. If you like small town romances that follow a family and a close group of friends, I think this series is one that you will really enjoy. Then we have Elsie Silver. Elsie Silver is obviously a very popular author. She's done quite a few series. So there is the Chestnut Springs series, the Rose Hill series, and the Fool's Ranch or something like that. I can't remember. I'll put the name on screen, but there's another series that she's done as well. This is the first book in the Rose Hill series, and this is her series that she's currently publishing, and this is a series of single dad romances, and I love this series. I love single dad romances. They're some of my favourite to read. So this series, they are single dad, but they are single dad in like different ways. So in this one, Ford finds out that he's a father. He donated sperm to a sperm bank, and then obviously, you know, a woman used his sperm, and a daughter kind of obviously came about, and she's kind of found him out. So he finds out that he's a father when I think it's like 13 or something. She's like a teenager. So he becomes a father, you know, later on in the child's life, and obviously it's very unexpected, and I really like that it was kind of a different take on the single dad romance. So definitely recommend Elsie Silver's books if you like kind of cowboy. This one's not necessarily cowboy, but she does cowboy romances really, really well, and yeah, definitely cannot recommend her books enough. Then we have arguably one of my favourite authors, and that is Ana Huang. This is Twisted Love, which is the first book in the Twisted series. I have read all of Ana Huang's currently published books. King of Envy comes out very, very soon, and I'm very excited for it. But this Ana Huang writes predominantly like billionaire romances, so a lot of the guys that she writes about are very rich. The women live like quite lavish lifestyles, and I really love that. All of her heroes are top tier heroes, and I think her books deserve all the hype. She is a very popular author, she's very hyped. I would not have picked this up if I hadn't heard people talking about it, and I'm so glad that I did pick it up because I absolutely love her books. As I say, I'm all caught up with all of her books. So I really want new ones to be released, so I've got something to look forward to, but love her books. And then the last one I want to mention is Devney Perry. So this is Indigo Ridge, which is the first book in the Eden series. I haven't actually read this series yet, but it's one of the few books that I do own by her. I read a lot of her books on Kindle Unlimited. So there's the Clifton Forge series, which is what I started out with. I absolutely loved that series. I kind of binge read it almost like back to back. She writes small town romances, and some of her books do have like a little bit of suspense in them, which I absolutely love. I think she's definitely an author to check out. Some of her books have been picked up by a traditional publisher as well, but a lot of them are still on Kindle Unlimited. I don't believe this particular series is available on Kindle Unlimited anymore, but her other books are, and I would definitely recommend, if you love small town romances, she is an author to check out. And they are all of the authors that I wanted to mention. Obviously there are other authors that I have read from and love, but I think if someone asked me like who are your top authors, I would pull from this list. And obviously this list is a list that changes, you know, all the time. If you'd asked me like a few years ago, the names that would be on this list, some of them would be different to the ones that I have now. So I will obviously probably do a video, you know, later on at some point with an updated list, but as of right now, these are my top authors. Definitely recommend checking those out if you haven't done already. You will notice that a lot of those authors are really popular authors, and that is because I watch a lot of YouTube, I look at Instagram, I watch a lot of TikTok, so I get a lot of recommendations and a lot of popular recommendations. But if you have any recommendations for authors that write similar books to these authors that I've shared, then please do let me know, because I'm always on the lookout for new books to read. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one.